Okay, how do you measure with sig figs? So the first step is to figure out how many sig figs are in your answer. Now the way to do this is when you look at a measurement, so suppose that you have a ruler and the ruler is labeled with tick marks. The first thing you want to do is find out what the units of the tick mark are, and you want to estimate the last digit. So for example, say this ruler is in centimeters, and each tick mark here, let's just say this goes from 1 centimeter to 2 centimeters, and each tick mark here is 1/10 of a cm, or of a centimeter. Then if we're measuring, say, something that goes up to here, then we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, and we're certain that it's past 1. So the ones place is certain, that's a certain digit. And then you count 1, 2, 3, 4, so we know for a fact that it has at least crossed the fourth tick mark, which means that we're certain that it's at least 1.4 centimeters. Now, it's between 4 and 5, but we can't be certain because there's no tick marks between 4 and 5. So that's why this last digit is an estimate, which means that you'd estimate the hundreds place, and that's your uncertain digit. That's your least significant digit. So let's say we estimate that this is about halfway between 4 and 5, then our answer would be 1.45 centimeters. And the fifth digit would be uncertain because we can never know for sure that it's exactly 0.5 between the fourth tick mark and the fifth tick mark. So again, the first thing you want to do is you want to see how many sig figs are in your answer. So here, we know that it goes from 1 to 2 centimeters, and each tick mark represents 1/10. So we need to have at least 2 sig figs because we're certain of 2 digits, and the third one is going to be our estimate. So in this problem, we'd have 3 sig figs in our answer. And the second step is to measure and record. Now let's do another example. Say you have a burette, and it goes from 4.5 milliliters to 4.6 milliliters. And say that this is all water, and you're measuring the water. So in this example, you take the 4.5 milliliters, and we know that it's at least 4.5 milliliters, and each tick mark represents 1/100 of a milliliter. Each tick mark represents that, so we know that we're going to have a digit in the ones place, decimal, and then we're going to have a digit in the hundreds place, the tens place, because we can be certain that it's at least 4.5, and the hundreds place, because there's tick marks that go up to hundreds, and we can be sure that it crosses a certain tick mark. And the last digit, which is the thousands place, is estimated. So we have 4 sig figs in our answer. Now in this case, we look at the starting point, which is 4.5, and it's not 4.6, so we write down 4.5, and then we count the number of tick marks. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we know that it crosses the fifth tick mark, which means we're for sure that it's 4.55 at least. Now, the problem here is we don't know how much it is between the 5th tick mark and the 6th tick mark, and we have to estimate that. So that's our digit of uncertainty. So here we can estimate it to be about 0.7 between the 5th and the 6th tick mark. So we can write down our uncertain digit as 7. So the answer will be 4.557 milliliters, and we have 4 sig figs, and that's our answer.